Bear with me 1 second here, a little AV work. The good thing about coaching at every level, I was my own video coach for years. When I got to the American Hockey League and I got a video coach, I absolutely could not believe it. All right, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate, I want to piggyback the boys here real quick, congratulate Ryan Warsawski. I didn't even know Ryan was going to be speaking after me, but we talked about developing some of our young players, and it's very well known what we've done with our hockey players, but we need to keep developing coaches. And Ryan Warsawski is going to be an absolute rock star, and for him to go over and take that team and win the world championships, we haven't done it in 92 years, was amazing, felt very proud. I personally was on that staff 2 previous years, and 2 heartbreaking losses and knockouts that still kept me up. So congratulations, you guys, enjoy him. Secondly, the Halenka. I know Fish talked about the win yesterday. I sat and watched that on my couch. They actually had their orientation camp about 10 days ago, 12 days ago in Plymouth, and I felt very fortunate. They actually asked me to come out and be a guest coach for 2 days, and to watch it translate where they were in their early process and the vision and plan they had. You know, just something as simple as, you know, we're going to maximize our team. Our D are going to own the guts of the ice. Our forwards are going to work anything outside. We're literally going to play our D from inside the dots to back to our post, and see it come to fruition last night. And to beat Canada, which is an absolutely loaded team, in reality, it was probably quote-unquote our B team, made me very proud, and it's very talented staff. So good luck to those guys today. Now, if you would have told me playing college hockey at Cortland State, doing the bus route into the Suniacs all over the Northeast, that I was going to coach in the National Hockey League, win a couple Stanley Cups, be an original 6 head coach in Toronto, I would have told you you're absolutely crazy. But if you would have told me I was going to sit in Don Cherry's seat in Hockey Night in Canada, I would have said absolutely not, no chance. This was an unbelievable thrill for me. A couple things though, when you're not dealing with something very aesthetically pleasing at times, I don't think I hit the female 19 to 49 demographic Hockey Night in Canada was looking for. But just a couple you guys want to learn here. Get a good tailor, nice little cut here, get a nice little knob, and nice watch here. You spend a little bit of accessories. Call these deflectors. So that was me, but what an experience. So the experience in Hockey Night in Canada was amazing, and obviously Elliot Friedman, top of the profession, his job is social media. And we would go into the viewing rooms, prepping for whatever we have to do next, and he's rifling through it. And for fun, at times, he will read a couple hate social media, and there's a lot of them. Him and Kevin Bieksa get beat up all the time. But here's a guy from Brazier Falls, New York, a population of 530. Look it up, and they went down. Unfortunately, our school nurse, God bless her, Mrs. Healy, passed away a couple weeks ago. So we're sitting at about 529 right now. Growing up, Hockey Night in Canada was bigger than life, and to me host it, but Kevin Bieksa and Elliot, he would read the hate text, and this is the one I get right here. First of all, I was American, and every opportunity I could talk about the USHL, USA, I'd bring it up, much to the dismay of the 12, 13 million Canadians watching. But this is the one thing he read for me. TNT gets Wayne Gretzky, and we get Derek Efron Malone. Like, there's probably a little something to that. Tough to argue that. We get pretty good at that. I get asked all the time, how do you get to the next level? Fish obviously, read my resume, and two things that I can relate to you and get to the next level. One is stay in the moment, and I know it's hard to do. I talk to my players like this at every level all the time. And second one is be great where you are at, and I mean that. And I look around, I run into people, I see every level, minor hockey level, I see guys from junior level, I see guys at all kinds of levels right here, girls at all kinds of levels. Trying to work their way up. Be great at where you're at. I got that advice early in my career. Crush it, put everything you are. Every job I took, and it sounds like hindsight now, and obviously I've worked my way to the top of the profession, but it was my dream job. I couldn't believe I was coaching. I had an undergraduate in physical education. I had a minor in biology. I got a master's in education administration. I wanted to be a gym teacher. I wanted to be a mentor, maybe an athletic director, high school coach in New York, because those guys had an impact on me. But every job, I couldn't believe I was coaching for a living. I went to Ferris State. I couldn't believe I was a Division I coach. I would have been at Ferris State for 20 years. I go to the University of Denver. Again, I just couldn't pinching myself. And I would have been there forever. I go to Green Bay. I would have been in Green Bay. It was a dream job. I went to Toledo. People were questioning why I went to Toledo. If there was a college opening at that time, I probably heard from the athletic director. Guys would go cut their teeth, Bobby Motzkow, Dave Haxley, cut your teeth in USHL, you become a head coach in college. But it was something about Toledo and the opportunity to spend time with Mike Babcock and Jeff Blashill. It was a growth for me. It's why I did it. Dream job, could have been there. Obviously, American Hockey League. The phone just kept ringing and ringing and ringing because I dug in where I was at. I put everything into where I was at, and I was great where I was at. So stay in the moment, be great where you're at, and it'll come in the right time, in the right way. Few things with where you're at. Today's a different athlete, today's a different kid. Make sure you communicate, build relationships, dig in, and just care about the individual. Guys know that. I really feel fortunate in my career, and I started at the college level. At the college level, you're recruiting an individual. You care about them. You have 365 days a year. Some of my best relationships to this day were guys I coached in college. And they know it, they care. I brought that to pro hockey, and it became successful for me. You call it the modern coach, whatever you want to do, but you care about the individual, you care about what you're doing, each individual you're coaching. It just goes a long ways, and it's a reality. And you can just see it. We can be candid here. That bully coach, that coach that is tough on guys within certain reasons, maybe go over the top, it's getting faded out. It's the reality of it. And this is my gift to you guys. I do a lot of development stuff in the summer. Jason Lambert, another good American coach from Pittsburgh, New York, grew up there, plays college hockey in Sunyak, like I did, head coach in Niagara now. We were talking about getting to the young players. And he introduced this book to me, 10 to 25 from David Yeager. Basically put the science on what we kind of already know, what makes a 10 to 25-year-old tick. And this is some of the things I got out of it. And it's probably not going to surprise you when you think about it, but how is it applicable? How do you relate to it? They crave social status. They want to be respected. And this is a reality. Your 10 to 25-year-old, your 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old, no different than my 17, 18-year-old in the National Hockey League. Respect their perspective and ask but don't tell. And those are some things. It was a fascinating book. You'll get better for it. It's the reality of the individual and the player at your level and my level. My gift to you is the book 10 to 25. I get asked all the time, what's different at the highest levels? And I was very fortunate, two really good friends, John Cooper and Jeff Blashill, who's going to speak later. They were in the NHL before me, and I asked them that question. And they told me it's not a whole lot different. And what do I mean by that? Players lose confidence. If I had a nickel for every time I had a coffee for someone because they've lost confidence in the NHL, you'd be shocked. There's selfishness in those leagues. They're trying to get team cohesion. It's the exact same thing I dealt with at Division III level, I dealt with in junior, I dealt with the National Hockey League. Nikita Kucherov came off the ice one day, told me not to put him back on the ice, he's awful. And I'm sitting there, he's 1-1, he's involved like 6 scoring chances. I'm like, I think you're pretty good, coach. But like, I had Patrick Kane come to apologize to me after a hockey game. Usually I was awful, I'm sorry. You'd be shocked in just dealing and managing players. It's not a whole lot different. And the one thing that's not different, it's habits. It's the same habits. So I did a little project here. I literally just took the last game of the NHL this year. And it was the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup in Game 6. And these habits, there's nothing skill-based in them. And we talk about development and skill. These are all just basic habits. And I was fortunate enough, like people ask all the time, winning the Stanley Cup was amazing. It wasn't winning the Stanley Cup, it was the process of winning the Stanley Cup which grew me and made me opportunity to get to the next level. And if you watch, what I'm going to show you now was how we looked in Tampa when we won it. It's basically every team in the end, this is what winning looks like, it's the same habits. You guys, as young coaches, coaching every youth level possible, you talk about arrivals. Everybody know I'm talking about arrivals? Raise your hand if you preach to your teams about coming back in the zone, actually stopping. And that's the entire hockey. That's hockey 101. And watch, this is the Florida Panthers, and this is all just one game. It looks like synchronized swimmers. Just wait for it. Watch the two guys arrive right here. The last two guys, we call them 4 or 5, they literally look like synchronized swimmers. They edge up. That's a habit. And that's at the highest level. Now, they're able to sort. Now they're able to play fast in their D zone just because of a simple arrival. 5 on a die coming in the zone. Again, this is Drysdale, pretty good hockey player. He kicks back, watch the arrival, back to the house, 5 guys on the die, everyone edges up. And then this is the picture. We talk about 5 on the die just like this. It seems like a simple play, but now this play's deteriored into this area right here. They've accomplished what they wanted, just arriving back to the house. So Chuck, I love this. People talk about hockey IQ in many ways. A lot of times people think of it offensively, and it's true. And I was fortunate to coach some of the greatest IQ, Nikita Kucherov, Patrick Kane, I brought up. It's amazing how they see and think the game. Watch him come back on this simple arrival. He's right here right now. Here comes McDavid. He just edges up, hockey sense. He doesn't want to come duplicate. And this is reps. This is playing for your teammates. It's important for him not to give up a scoring chance right here for his team. So he edges up, doesn't take this bad ice right here, and sure enough, where's the puck go? It comes on the weak side, and him just having the discipline of stopping right here and coming back, the whole play looks different. Now you can see them on the middle of the ice again, and no easy offense for Edmonton. Arrival after duplication. Watch the bad play. This is not a good look for coaches right now. They get duplication up. Marchie, love him, never coached him, love Blake playing. He's cheating a little bit north right here. This must be the Canadian in him, but that's what he did. And sure enough, here's a 2-on-1. And this is a 2-on-1 from their breakdown. But this is McDavid and Corey Perry. Corey Perry put everything in the net in this playoffs around the net. His whole game was 2 feet from the blue paint. But just watch the reaction of these guys, the desperation, the arrival back. Again, no talent needed. They come back, there's a dive. Now they own the house again. They just turned a 2-on-1. It could have been the end of the net with the greatest player in the world. Desperation and come back for a rival. Skate screens. You need to break the puck out. We talk about skate screens, working all the time. It's a simple habit. No skill needed. Watch Carter Verhaeghe right here on the skate screen. He's right here, and this is Connor McDavid. And watch him ride him. He rides him. Almost criminal. He rides him. Can't get everywhere. He gets a little piece of him. Maybe grabs him a little bit. But it gives the D-man a little time of space, and he's able just to get up the wall. We're going to talk about gaining lines. He just gets a little chip out, and they're out of the zone. That's a territorial win for his teammates. Gadjevich, Ekblad, watch this. There's one hold right here. Good job. Nothing on the entry. They're going to work off the forecheck. There's another skate screen. We stick with it. This is a habit. Now Forsing's got time and space. It chips out. Again, not a single skill play have been talked about right now. You can see why Florida was winning. Winning lines. Something as simple as winning lines. Here comes 13 Reinhardt. If you recall in this game, Edmonton came out and they were absolutely buzzing. They dominated the first 5 minutes of this game, everyone's first shift. It could have been 2-0 Edmonton. But what do? There's nothing on the entry. They have 4 guys above it. He just dumps it in. Now he works off the forecheck. And we'll talk about this play later, but we're going to go fast forward right here. They don't have a shot on net. They've been absolutely smacked around for 5 minutes. and before you know it, because he had the discipline of just throwing it in, 1-0 Edmonton. Verhaeghe just getting a puck out. He gets it right here. Now this is for his teammates. He is going to get smacked. This D-man right here has evil intentions. And sure enough, he gets into him. It goes knee on knee, but he gets the puck out for his teammates. Just winning a line, having the discipline of winning a line. Verhaeghe again. He comes, now he gets a little more space. Like any good player, if there's time and space for a controlled entry, we're going to get a controlled entry. But here's 3 guys above the play right here. There's nothing there. He takes just winning a line. And sure enough, here goes the boys. Everyone gets on the horse. They skate. They get up ice. Simple, unselfish play of dumping the puck in. He gets the first touch on it. He goes low to high. And now they're playing offense. Winning lines. Reinhardt, pretty good player, pretty good season. They're up in the second. Really good forecheck by the D-man. You can't have a better look in that. And all he cares about is winning a line, just chipping a puck out. It comes out, rinse and repeat. They're there to play, live another day. Face-off intensity. You guys talk about it. It's simple. It's a big part of our game. Watch the face-off intensity right here. Henrique actually wins this draw right here, but watch this Orion's face-off intensity. He jumps it. Now he turns an Edmonton face-off win into a grade A shot from slot and another ozone face-off. Exact same face-off. We flip it now. This puck lies in the same exact spot for Florida. But watch the intensity of Mikula. Watch the intensity of Bennett. Here it goes. They win it back. Now, this is a set play. Again, the intensity of just boxing out, the intensity of boxing out. This is called an East Coast flip in our league. He's just going to take it, he's going to flip it. But because these guys won the line of scrimmage, their face-off intensity, attitude, again, nothing with skill. Now it turns into Ekblad holds onto it. Now it's a controlled breakout out of the D zone, just because those guys dug in on the edges. Watch Greer right here. This is the 4th line right here. Henrique actually snaps this right back. Poor Henrique. He got screwed by his wingers in this. You talk about setting up your guys and your teammates. Watch this 4th line. Because he jumps this on a win, he wins a battle. Nosa gets it. Now watch the 4th line. Win a shift. Zone time. Low to high now. Have to defend. All because he was ready and intense off a face-off on an Edmonton Oiler face-off win. Box out, simple thing. It's not easy. Watch a couple examples of the box out. Here's Edmonton now going low to high. Watch the box out start right here. Watch the box out start right here. And I know Bob's a pretty good goalie, but if you give them these sight lines, because these guys are boxing out, that's a team that's going to win some hockey games. And then, which the coach loves, I call it the net front triangle. Anytime you have this picture right here, on a frozen puck or a battle, a triangle, that's a team playing the right way. And if you own the inside, you get to do a little bit of this stuff right here. A little punch to the head, a little thing, get away with that stuff. But you had that position. Discipline. Again, no skill needed on any one of these guys. Box outs again. Jones, Barca, watch the box out. Low to high, Edmonton's going. All he cares about. He shoulder checks the puck, but he's going to box out McDavid. Watch Barkov net front right here. And then you get to a point, you do this for 6 series, for 6 games in series, you do it nonstop. McDavid gives up on the play. And no disrespect for him, that's more of a credit to the attitude and mentality. Watch the box out right here. He's not even trying to get to the net. Barkov does his job of boxing out. Ford picks it up, they're out of the zone again. Simple box outs. Battles. Compete. You guys talk about competing with your kids, your girls, every level, every group? Absolutely. Watch some examples of some 50-50 wins right here. Kulikov, Nugent Hopkins. In this situation, Florida's been pinned in the zone. And just it turns out, there's a 50-50 battle right there. We need this 50-50 win. Florida won these all playoffs. Florida's done this for 2 years. There's the 50-50. They win it, and they simply get it out. He's paying the price. It was important for him to gain that line, win the 50-50. Marchand and Brown. This is what you'd call a 50-50. They're literally hip on hip, shoulder on shoulder. Marshawn's gonna lean into him. He wins the 50-50. They work it up the wall, turns into another 50-50. It comes out, they just won the line. What was important? Lundell and Woman, this is probably a 60-40. Watch Lundell now. He slips him, he gets it, they go low to high. He just turned a 50-50 into some ozone offense. Listen to Ryan Bouchard, love this one. In this situation, they got pinned, Florida got pinned with the icing. So they get the face off, and who comes out? Here comes the boys. Here comes Draisaitl, here comes McDavid, here comes Perry. We're gonna create offense. Good coaching by Edmonton. We're gonna get the bad matchup. And here it is. These guys are gassed, they're tired. The game could change here. And here's the 50-50. It simply comes out, they win the 50-50. Here's the second 50-50. And watch how Florida now has flipped the transcript, has flipped the whole mentality of the shift. They win that, they're able to get a controlled entry right here. Change, change, change. Now they get the puck out of possession. 5 fresh Panthers are now on the ice. They completely flipped it because they won 2 50-50s out of the D zone and in the neutral zone. Gadjevich and Bouchard, 50-50. And again, the fourth line got pinned on a D zone face-off. Just win the 50-50. He punches it out. They win the line. They get a change. Fresh bodies. They're setting up the next line again. Time, rinse and repeat. Block shots. Boom, for Hagee. Takes one on the kneecap. Those sting. Did it for his teammates. So Chuck and Bennett love this one. He sells out when your star's blocking shots. But you know what? I love the line. Bennett would have taken it too. This is a winning hockey team. He gets the block. Marchand again. Right. Bang. Takes it off the kneecap. Gets the block. Barkov gets a stick on it. We call these a souvenir. Puts it up in the stands. I don't know why guys like it. But again, he gets the block on the stick. But you can see Ekblad and Forsling, they both wanted it. They both would have ate that in the stomach. Blocking shots, committed to playing the right way. Barkov again. Bang. Takes it. And now at the end of the game, you get a couple blocks. Watch Ekblad net front against a playing goalie here. Gets a little blocker save on it right here. Comes back up top again. And then this one comes all the way around the horn here. Barkov actually gets a stick on it. Ekblad eats it. And then we call this Lindstrom-Cobb. Lindstrom number 5, Ty Cobb number 0, 5-0. Game's over. Stanley Cup is theirs. Still at 4-0. They're selling out, blocking shots. Now I'm going to get to the meat of this presentation. I'm going to correlate 2 things. Simple habit of working above. And Florida was amazing at it. And this is them, again, this is one hockey game. Sometimes I'll go to training camp, I'll present in Toronto's training camp. I've got 82 games, they're playoff games, to find 8 or 10 of the best clips to teach off. This is one hockey game of simple habits. And this is just simply working above. Remember I talked about that first goal? Just watch their mentality of working above. Stride, stride, stride. De-gapped, working above. And they turn the simple breakout here of just working above. He picks it off. And all of a sudden they're up 1-0 because of mentality of just working above. Carter Hagee, I was fortunate enough to win a Stanley Cup with Carter, coach him 1 year in Tampa. This is a guy I didn't think he was going to play in the National Hockey League, had to go through the East Coast, had to go through the American Hockey League. Now look at him, just watch the effort. Skate, strides, just work above for your teammates. Couple strides, he gets 1 stick on it, and he keeps coming. He gets a second, and these add up, just working above. Lundell, it's 1-0. This game could go either way. He is the furthest player away from the ice. He's stuck behind the net. Watch his work. Sure enough, they get a breakout. Marshy turnover again. Canadian in him. Keep that between us. Simon in it. There goes Draisaitl, a pretty good hockey player. Here he comes. The guy that was behind the net, he beat everyone up the ice just to work above. He's not done. Now he works back. Watch him. He's here. He gets a stick on it. They turn it over. Now watch where he goes. You talk about habits. We talk about our players getting to the net. Watch him go right here. He gets to the net. Skate, 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 drive. He has skated 300 plus feet right now. He takes the goalie's eyes. He'll get the credit. This guy made the whole play, just working above and effort of getting back to the net. 2-0. The entire game has changed. Rodriguez, Kachuk, Jonesy. Watch Rodriguez right here. Right here. This is a choice right now. This is a habit. He works to get above. The boys have worked to get above. This is the first shift of the second period when it's 1-0. Work to get above again. They stay on top of it. Because they're above, they turn this back. Now Bennett is able to get a lick on a player right here. There's one. The boys are working above, getting a change. And then this, you don't think the bench was fired up on this hit? It's all because of the habits. The teammates set him up by simply working above. Reinhardt again, just watch him. He gets beat as an F3. Now he just takes 1, 2, 3, 4 strides. Seems like a simple play, but simply him working above, the whole play has changed. He slows down. Edmonton ends up having to play slow. They've got 4 guys above the puck. Goal number 3, all started because they worked above. This is the work above. No time and space. Just mentality of working above. Now they turn it over. They get zone time. You end up seeing this right here, which is a habit of theirs. And sure enough, low to high. They keep working. All off being above and forcing a turnover. Slice to the net. Bad rebound. 3-0. All because they ended up just having a mentality of working above. This is the first shift of the third period. Watch Reinhardt. Again, the furthest player away from the play. He's got to come all the way. He's getting beat up ice by the D-man. Now, great job on a pull-up here. McDavid makes a play. This is from the golden tees, the over 65, as close as you can get tees right here. He's about to hammer a one-timer. But the same guy just worked from behind the net. He comes and breaks it up. Winning hockey, getting back above. Listerine again, just working to get above. Now watch Marchand start to work. He works. Now he's able to get above the player, and he gets to put a shoulder in him, and they have possession going the other way. Nosek, 4th line center. Just watch him work. He gets above here once. Now he gets above a second time. He cuts his hands off. It's going the other way on possession. Simple play of working above. Nosek, 200 feet. This is important for him right here. He's not going to let this guy get up ice. He grabs him. He yanks him. Now he just starts to work to get above. He works to get above. And sure enough, he cuts his hands off. He comes 200 full feet. We get a little reverse right here. They're out of the zone. Work to get above. Lastly, we're going to end up with being above and in shorts. Jeff Blasso's going to talk later. There's certain things within your career that just resonate with you. I was at the Detroit Red Wing training camp, ironically, 7, 8, 10 years ago. And they're working on the neutral zone. And in the neutral zone, F3 would cut the ice and just be above. But what was happening is they would be above. The guy would catch the pass. He's above them and safe, but he would chip it in. And he let me understand, you got to be above, but you got to be tight and on top and in shorts. The difference between being above and being in shorts. A couple clips right here. USA Hockey. When I was unfortunately fired by the Detroit Red Wings, the national development team had me come out once a week. And I know he was doing it for himself, but it was unbelievable growth for me. So this is something we talk about being above. So this is one thing I presented him. This is USA Hockey, U18. And this is a pretty good picture right now. You can see, we call this maybe an OZP track or shrink. There's F3, there's the D, we're on it. It's a pretty good picture right now. And you can see just a little slight loop, undisciplined turn right here. Now Waterloo goes east-west. Now they're above, but they're not on top. Again, 5 players working above, but not on top. And they win the territorial battle. Sure enough, it comes out, they get the chip. It's a forecheck, turns into ozone play. The very next week, a very similar picture. They're playing Tri-City. Now they turn to net. Look at the difference of being above, but in their shorts and on top. being above, in the shorts on top, in the shorts on top, turnover, going the other way. You win the territory. Difference between being above, the difference between being above and in shorts. Florida, one of the best in being above. This is game 7. Everything's on the line. Round 2. Just being above, but on tight and in shorts. And this is simple. Get this picture. I'm going to show you a couple. Here's winger, center support, winger, flooding, pushing the pace. Picture you see all the time. Look where Florida is. There's no time and space. They're above. It's a turnover. It's going the other way. Same game. Game 7. Watch Toronto. They're above. Same picture right here. Here's the wing. Here's the center. The flood guy is taking off. Exact same breakout. Exact same spots. What we work on all the time. But look at the difference. He's able to slip it through. He's pushing back. They're above. This is harmless because there's 2D owning and we have a third coming back, but they win the possession, the 200 feet. The difference between being above and in shorts. Toronto again, not on top. This is the previous game. There's the wing. Now they use the weak side D. And again, there's F3. They're above it. This is not a bad picture, DD, but they won the line. They weren't there. They weren't on top. Game 7 again. Difference in the 2. Here comes Toronto. Exact same picture. There's the wing. There's the pace. This ends up being the D. And again, decent D through the dots like they're supposed to. F3, harmless. But they win the possession again. The position is down the ice. This is Florida. This is the difference right here. Here we come. Same thing. There's your wing. There's your center. D's getting involved right here. Now watch the difference in Florida. Same exact breakout. On top, in the shorts, they turned this breakout into this. This is a grade A, 2-on-1 at the net, almost beats them to the far post. D zone coverage, same thing. Difference between being there, being above, being in position, being in the shorts. This is Toronto doing a really good job right here. There's one. Austin quickly gets there. Now Rashawn's got nowhere to go. This is being in someone's shorts, literally. That's hockey pant on hockey pant in his hip. They get the separation. They're able to go behind the net, which we call a little basket play, and they break it out. Now, this is the dreaded game 7 right here. And this is the difference of not being in shorts. Good position. This is a really good picture. There's the D zone laters. There's the 5 guys who talk about it all the time at every level. Again, a really good picture. But who skates out of this? Florida does. Look at the time and space. Just showed you a clip where there was 2 Toronto Maple Leafs. Now there's time and space. Again, good position. There's a D, there's a center, there's the net front D. No harm. They own the middle, but not in the shorts. They're able to get zone time. They're able to go low to high. Same.